What's your name and how did you hear about Milty's Boy Septic?
My name is Mark Spencer, and I looked up on the internet trying to find a good septic company, and you guys popped up.
What did you have Milty's Boy Septic do for you today?
They pumped out my tank down there and evaluated my deceased lateral lines.
And on a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, what would you rate Milty's Boys Septic in your experiences?
Oh, I'd rate them a 5 for sure. This is the second time they've been out, so I'll hire them again after today.
First question, it's two-part. Would you recommend Milty's to any friends or family, and if so, why?
Absolutely, I'd recommend them. Yeah, their office help is real courteous. They're on time. You don't have to get to another person to know what they do for a living. They're always on the phone, and they know exactly what the guy's going to do when he gets there. They were on time, and their service was excellent.
All right, what's your name and what did you have Milty's Boy Septic do for you today?
My name is Jay Boatwright from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Milty's Boys, as always, have done a very good job, but today you guys pumped the septic tank after 5 years.
Why did you first hear about Milty's?
I spoke with a very experienced plumbing company, and the man that owned the company had dealt with Milty's over the years with excellent service, and he explained that the customer service and the overall knowledge of Milty's is exactly the group that I wanted to be dealing with.
From a rating of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being you'd never use or recommend, what rating would you give Milty's?
Absolutely a 10. You guys have been very responsive. You've done everything you said you would do every time I've ever called. The other thing is I've consulted with your group on numerous occasions on various things, and you've always responded quickly with the correct answers.
So, would you recommend Milty's to any friends or family, and if so, why?
100%. Reliability, and again, I think doing what you say you're going to do goes a long way these days, and that's what Milty's is all about.
Thank you.
You got it.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name is Jessica Vanderwilly, and Milty's came out today in the coldest day in the history of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and dug up my septic to relieve backing up in my laundry room.
Do you remember how you first heard about Milty's?
Milty's came to my house in 2010 and replaced all my lateral lines. I think we actually heard about Milty's from a neighbor.
From 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being absolutely great, what would you rate your experience over the years?
Absolutely a 5.
Would you recommend Milty's to any friends and family, and if so, why?
I absolutely would recommend Milty's, and I have recommended Milty's. Almost everyone in my neighborhood uses Milty's. We see them every time we drive down the street. We see a Milty's truck if someone's having work done.
Thank you. What's your name and how did you hear about Milty's Boy Septic?
Jessica Johnson. We Googled Milty Boys, and you had the top rating.
And what did you have us do today?
You came out and emptied our septic system and gave us information on how to fix our problems.
And what would you rate your experience today, 1 to 5, with 5 being best?
5.
Would you refer us to any of your family, friends, or neighbors, and if so, why?
I would refer the Milty Boys because you were fast, you were efficient, you came in a timely manner, you're friendly, you cleaned up your own mess, and you were nice.
What's your name and how did you hear about Milty's Boy Septic?
My name is Jose Villafuerte. I looked it up on Google. Milty Boys Septic. They're really good. You know, they get the job done. They work with you and everything. Everything helps out. You know what I'm saying?
What did you have us do today?
Man, we had us empty out my septic tank. Man, he emptied it out, cleaned it all. Emptied out my father's septic tank next door. I mean, he worked with us and we did like all of it. Good price. He worked with you, help. You know, he's really nice. You know, just a good, inspirational guy.
Man, if you were to give us a rating between 1 and 5, 5 being the best, what would you give us?
5, that's definitely 5.
Would you recommend us to any friends or family?
I would recommend it to everybody.
So what's your name and how did you hear about Milty's Boy Septic?
My name is Colleen Wakefield, and my father has used them for years, and so therefore I continued doing that after he passed. And Milty's Boys have been great about the response and also getting a very efficient, clean job done. Cleaned up all the crap, that's for sure.
Why and would you recommend Milty's Boy Septic to any of your neighbors or friends, and why would you do that?
I would recommend them, and I have. So I think most of the people in our neighborhood pretty much know who they are. So to me, I like someone that is responsible enough to stay on top of what their business is and do a quality job and efficient. And that's what has happened here.
Thank you. Okay, what is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
I'm Katie, and I had Milty Boys come out to initiate service on our aerobic septic system.
How did you first hear about Milty's Boy Septic?
I did a lot of research online. I called several different septic companies. Milty Boys seemed to have the most reasonable prices. They could get out to see me quickly, and they had kind of a maintenance plan, which is something I wanted as well.
What would you rank Milty's Boys between 1 to 5, 5 being the best?
I think they got a 5.
Would you recommend us to any friends or family, and if so, why?
Absolutely. Cisco came out and walked us through the whole system. We've been in the house for about 2 years, and nobody had ever done that before. Even when we moved in, the company that placed the system didn't tell us anything, didn't tell us how to maintain it or what it was about. Cisco really thoroughly explained everything, showed us everything, talked us through what we need to do to maintain it, and was just very informative.
Thank you. What's your name and how did you first hear about Milty's Boy Septic?
I'm Ken Calhoun here in Bixby, Oklahoma, and I actually did a Google search for the best septic company in the area, and Milty's Boys is what surfaced on the internet.
And what did you have us do today?
Well, today, this is the second time you've been out, but today we jetted our lateral lines and repaired the junction box on the lateral systems.
What would you rate your experience with Milty's Boy Septic?
Can you go higher than a 10? These guys are awesome. I'm going to tell you, if you've got any kind of septic issues, Milty Boys is who you need to call.
So I guess you would recommend Milty's Boys, and then if so, why?
I'd highly recommend Milty Boys. A couple of reasons. One, professionalism. These guys do what they tell you they're going to do. The second thing is they show up on time and they keep you posted of what they're doing and the work that they're doing.
Okay, what's your name and what did you have Milty's Boy Septic do for you?
My name's Matthew Scott, and Milty Boys Septic emptied my septic tank.
How did you hear about Milty's Boy Septic?
Actually from my plumber, my local plumber.
Now, if you were to give Milty's a rating from 1 to 5, 1 being I'd never use or recommend, 5 being I'd refer, what would you give Milty's Boy Septic?
Well, I'd have to give it 6. They're the fastest, most affordable, great service, and good people.
Would you recommend us to friends and family, and if so, why?
Absolutely. Like I just said, best price you can, best service, and everybody's good people, you can tell.
Thank you. Okay, what's your name and how did you guys hear about Milty's Boy Septic?
Well, my name is Melissa, and I did a Google search, and they popped up as #1 in the area.
And what did you have Milty Boys do today?
Well, the septic tank hadn't been pumped in some years, so they came by and they emptied it out for us, gave us some really good tips on how to keep it healthy, clean as possible,
Between 1 and 5, 5 being the best, what would you rate today's service at?
Definitely number 5.
Definitely 5.
Super honest about pricing, honest about everything, and showed up when they said they would.
Would you refer Milty's Boys Septic to any family or friends?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, what's your name and how'd you hear about Milty's?
Mitch Wade, and I believe my wife found it on the internet.
And what would you say your experience was today?
It was good, informative. Learned a lot about the septic system that I have, aerobic system, things I didn't know before, and so I was appreciative of the instruction.
What did you have us do today?
Replace the compressor.
And would you recommend us to any of your neighbors, and if so, why?
Yeah, you guys were easy to schedule, quick to come out, and as I stated earlier, informative. So yeah, I'd make the recommendation.
Thank you. What's your name and what did you have Milty's Boys Septic do for you today?
My name is Patty, and Milty's came out with Cisco being the representative, and they reamed out a septic tank, which should have been done every year. Cisco informs me every 2 years with the amount of people we have here. But he did an excellent job and was very knowledgeable in telling us what we needed to take care of in the future. And reliable, professional, friendly, funny, and we're very grateful for this service. Thank you very much, Cisco.
Thank you.
And Milty's Boys.
What's your name and what did you have Milty's Boys Septic do for you today?
Rick Alfaro. I had Milty Boys come out and pump my septic tank, clean it out, and haul away dispose of the stuff they took out, and it was great experience, on time, and a good value.
Would between 1 and 5, what rating would you give Milty's Boys Septic?
I'd do a 5.
Would you recommend us to any friends and family, and if so, why?
Yes, I'll recommend Milty's to family and friends due to the professionalism and the quality of work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, what is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys Septic do for you today?
Hi, my name is Rita Ramey. I had Milty's Boys come and clean my septic tank out.
And how did you first hear about Milty's?
Milty's installed the system 8 years ago when the house was built. We've owned the house for 5 years, and he has serviced my system every time it needed service.
From 1 to 10, 1 being I'd never use or recommend, 10 being I'd use again, what rating would you give your experience with Milty's?
My experience has been a 10 every time I have ever called for service and needed service and received service.
Would you recommend Milty's Boys Septic to any friends or family, and if so, why?
I would recommend Milty's to any of my friends or family, neighbors, anyone else that needed septic service. And the reason I would is because the service from the office to the people that come out to do the work is excellent. I mean, it is in the service industry. Today, it's very hard to get someone that comes out and really cares about the customer and what needs to be done, and to make sure that it needs to be done right and answer all the questions. And they feel that every time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. What's your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name is Robert O'Connell, and I had them do some warranty work for me on an air compressor.
How did you first hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
I found you through Google.
And from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest rating, what would you rate Milty's Boys Septic service at?
I'd rate them a 10 out of 10. They were professional and came out real quick and really kind.
And would you refer us to any friends or family, and if so, why?
I certainly refer you because you guys were honest. You felt honest and a good company, and I've already referred you out once already.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's your name and what did you have Milty's Boys Septic do for you today?
My name is Robert Young, and I had my septic tank pumped out.
How did you hear about Milty's?
Recommended by multiple people.
And if 1 being completely terrible, 5 being the best it could be, what was your experience? What would you rank your experience at today?
6.
6. And what if you would Would you recommend Milty's Boys Septic, and if so, why?
Because I feel that they're very honest and gave me an upfront explanation of what my system needs.
Awesome, awesome. If there's anything that we could do better, what would you say it would be?
I can't think of anything right now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you. We
Okay.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. What's your name?
Ronnie Welch.
And where was your home at?
It was in Broken Arrow over here on just outside of Quita.
And what was your experience with Milty's Boys Septic?
They did a good job. They came out there and they did what they were supposed to do. They pumped it out and fixed my aerobic system, and everything went great after that.
Would you recommend Milty's Boys to anybody else?
Yeah.
What rating would you give them?
Out of what? Like
1 to 5?
a 5, 4.5, 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They did a great job. They were nice people.
All right. Thank you. What's your name and how did you first hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
I'm Shannon Curry, and my sister-in-law used you all out at their land. Just good service and great attitudes, and so we needed someone to come out and get the job done, and that's what you guys did.
How did you feel about today's service?
I thought it was great from the time you called to let me know you were coming, cracking some jokes, and then just out here and explaining thoroughly how the system works, because I wasn't fully aware of it. My husband was here when it got put in, and so understanding really how the septic system works and how we are to take care of it, and so I appreciated that information.
What did you have us do today?
So we had a lot done. We had all of our tanks were clean. Our trash tank, our pump tank, and our middle tank, explained how the sludge in the aerobic system, how it was building up, and so we needed to get that done as well. We had a sprinkler head that was not functioning well, and so he replaced that and told us about the monthly care of our tank to keep it healthier, and so we got on that plan as well.
Why would you recommend Milty's Boys Septic to anybody else?
I think just their customer service and how they talked with us and treated us and explained really what they were doing, and just friendly, and did a great job servicing our system.
What's your name and what did you have Milty's do for you today?
Shelby, and we had a drain cleaning.
And how did you first hear about Milty's?
Google.
From 1 to 5, what would you rate today's service being?
5.
Would you recommend Milty's to any friends or family, and if so, why?
Absolutely. Great service, friendly, and just an overall great experience.
Thank you. Tell us your name and how you first heard about Milty's.
My name's Steve Antry, and I actually pulled it off the internet and saw all the really excellent reviews, so it seemed like the right place to call.
What did you have us do today?
Had you service my septic, which I didn't realize I had 2 tanks, and also didn't realize it had been quite a while since I had it done. So had you come out and service it and put on some risers after you located it and found it and dug up the dirt and got in there, and it was kind of a mess.
How would you rate your satisfaction level from 1 to 5?
I'd give it a 5. It was excellent. Excellent service, excellent demeanor of one of the Milty's boys that came out, and it was far exceeded my expectations.
Why would you advise somebody else to use Milty's Boys Septic?
Well, let me just say, I had to make a couple of decisions on how to do the right thing out here, and you could just tell there was a lot of integrity kind of steeped in the answers that I got from Milty Boys. Doing the right thing for maybe the next owner of the house down the road, and even for our comfort as well. But it was I felt a lot of honesty and integrity, and that's very important to me.
Thank you. What's your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
Yeah, my name is Stephen Ragsdale, and I had Milty's out to do a full clean out of my septic, and we just knew it was time for some service, and so we had them out.
How did you first hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
We had a referral from them, from the people that we bought the home from, Chet Wilson, and so after looking up reviews and getting online and everything, I mean, they were no-brainer choice to call out.
So from 1 to 10, 10 being excellent, 1 being I'd never use or recommend, what rating would you give Milty's Boy Septic?
Honestly, I would give you guys a 10. I own a business myself, and just being able to be out here and have the conversation I had with the owner that's helped us out through everything, answered every question. I can be annoying sometimes with questions, and so he answered one of them when we asked about upgrading our system. He was big on making a point to not upsell me on something that I don't need currently. So it was great to be able to have those options and get a lot of feedback.
So, last question: Would you refer Milty's Boy Septic to any friends or family, and if so, why?
Absolutely. It's very important that I refer people that I know I have experience with, because if I'm taking them to family and friends, I want them to be able to be treated like I would treat them. And I definitely felt like I was being treated by family here, and I just know that they won't be upsold and sold on something they don't need.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, what's your name and what did you have Milty's Boy Septic do for you today?
Sure, my name's Tanny Olson, T-A-N-N-I-E-O-L-S-E-N. Milty came out just to do a simple pump job, but it's not the first time I've had Milty's boys come out and do some work for me. We've had an entire series of lateral lines replaced here. There was a second septic tank that we didn't know where it existed, so I asked them to come out, and with their locating services, they found where that second septic tank was. For those who live in the hills in South Tulsa like I do, sometimes you run into something like that. You buy a house and you go, where is that septic tank? Milty's Boys does a great job. I love their mission. I love the people they send out. Cisco in particular is somebody I have had a lot of enjoyment meeting and working with over the years.
Thank you. What's your name and what did you have Milty's Boy Septic do for you today?
Terry Toomey, and I noticed they were working at my ex-brother-in-law's house, so I went over and talked to Cisco, and he was kind enough to come over and give me kind of a rundown of what I need to maintain my aerobic system.
If you was to rank your experience with Milty's Boy Septic today between 1 and 5, 5 being the best, what would you give your rating for Milty's Boy Septic?
I'd give a 5+.
Would you recommend Milty's Boy Septic to any of your friends and family, and if so, why?
Yes, I've got a brochure I'm going to take to the neighbor because their septic system is leaching into my yard. So I'm hoping they get an aerobic system.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
What's your name and what did you have Milty's Boy Septic do for you today?
My name's Tim Hoffman. I called Milty Boys to have them come out and do a pump and check out my septic system.
How did you first hear about Milty's?
Through our American Home Shield insurance.
From a scale of 1 to 5, what would you rank your experience with Milty's, Milty's Boy Septic?
I'd give Milty Boy Septic a 5-star rating.
Would you recommend them to any of your neighbors and family, and if so, why?
I would recommend them to anybody that has a septic pump or a septic tank.
Why would you recommend us?
Milty Boys is very knowledgeable about septic systems.
All right, thank you. What's your name and what did you have done today?
My name is Tivia Taylor, and I just had my septic tank cleaned out.
And how would you rate your experience with Milty's Boys?
Between what? What am I looking at? What's my numbers?
Just like 1 and 5, and just what would you rate
5
it?
being the worst and 0 being the best? Or
Other
what?
way around.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say the experience was a 5. It was a learning experience because I have no education in how a septic tank works, and this is a house I'm renovating, so let me tell you, it was very neglected. You need to take care of your septic systems and have them cleaned out.
Why would you recommend Milty's Boys to anybody else?
I would say over the teaching to customer ratio, learning how your septic works and what not to do and what to do.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, what's your name and how did you guys hear about Milty's Boy Septic?
Well, my name is Travis, and we just found it on the web. Law went and found it and gave y'all a call.
What services did you have Milty Boys perform today?
Y'all came out and cleaned out our septic and got all cleaned up for us.
How would you describe your service today?
Well, came out very professional, very clean, very quick. Got in, took care of us, got everything cleaned out, and cleaned up the mess afterwards.
Why would you refer Milty's Boys to anybody else for septic?
Just because of the fact that came in very clean, very professional, and everyone, you did your job, and can't ask for more.
What's your name and what did you have Milty's Boys Septic do for you today?
I'm Trent Mitchell, and Cisco came out to do the annual maintenance on my septic system.
How did you first hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
Found it online.
And would you recommend us to any friends or family?
Absolutely. I've already recommended to a neighbor down the road and took care of him too.
So what, from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, what would you rank your experience with Milty's Boys Septic?
All the way on a 5.
Thank you. Okay, can you tell us what your name is and how you heard about Milty's?
My name's Vicki Wren, and I heard it from a neighbor of mine that lives down the road. Heard about Milty Boys, and I had him come over here today and pump my septic tank out. He did a really good job. It's very professional, very kind, and I'm satisfied.
Would you recommend us to any friends or family?
I absolutely would.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name is Sarah, and they came and looked at my septic. I was having issues with water pooling in my yard.
How did you hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
I've used you in the past.
And from 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being absolutely great, what would you rate your experience over the years with Milty's Boys?
I would give Milty's a 5.
Would you recommend Milty's Boys Septic to any friends and family, and if so, why?
Definitely. They are dependable, reliable. I just feel like they're honest, and they're local. I like using my money locally.
Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys Septic do for you today?
I am Braden Parks, and this is Mackenzie Jordan. We had you guys come out, find our septic, and check it before we buy a house, and yeah, worked out great.
It went great. We loved how it went. Taught us everything we needed to know. Cisco's awesome. If you ever need him, use him.
I need to see the Superman suit.
Yes.
How would you rate today's service 1 through 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being great?
Like a 6.
I'll give it a 6. I was gonna go with a 5, but the 6 is great.
Gotta break the scale.
Would you recommend us to any friends and family, and if so, why?
100%.
Yes, sir. I already gave my dad your card. Well, you did that, but you guys did great. You came out, you found it quick. A lot of shit talk. It was awesome.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys Septic do for you today?
Hi, my name is Devin, and we had Milty's Boys Septic clean out our septic tank.
How did you hear about Milty's Boys?
I just Googled septic tank, and then you guys showed up.
On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, how would you rate your service today?
5 for sure.
Would you refer Milty's Boys Septic to friends, family, or other businesses, and if so, why?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are great. You show up on time. You let us know when you're done, when you show up. You guys are great.
Thank you.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
Hi, my name's Bert, and had Milty's come out, pump out our tank. Hadn't been done for over 20 years, maybe 25 years. They did a wonderful job and explained things real thorough so we understand a little better. And yeah, I'll be calling them again when I need them.
Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name is Penny Proulier, and my septic tank was not working. The light came on and I was afraid the pump was out, and you guys came out and fixed it in a flash.
What would you rank your experience with Milty's Boys Septic from 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being absolutely great?
10.
Would you recommend us to any of your friends and families, and if so, why?
Absolutely. I would recommend you to everybody because Gabrielle said that you guys were 2 weeks out this morning, but she said, I'm going to make sure somebody comes to you today. And you did, and you saved my life. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, here we go.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's boys do for you?
Raymond Boydston, and I guess we pumped out my septic tank today.
How did you hear about Milty's boys septic?
I actually looked it up online.
From 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being great, what would you rate your experience at today?
5.
Would you recommend Milty's boys to any friends and family, and if so, why?
Of course, I had a great experience and great people.
Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's boys do for you today?
My name's Kim Goodner, and I had the boys come out and take care of my septic tank for me. And I even made it a day early, got it done in hardly any time. Did a great job, and if I have trouble again, I'll be calling them back.
Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's boys do for you today?
My name is Jennifer, and you guys installed a whole new septic system for me, and it was a fabulous experience, if that can be a fabulous experience. Cisco and Brian and Jordan especially. Jordan was wonderful. They were amazing, they were funny, they were easy to work with, and I would recommend them to anybody.
Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's boys do for you today?
Jim Rowe had a septic tank pumped.
From, how did you hear about Milty's?
From recommendations from neighbors here in the community.
From 1 to 5, 1 being terrible and 5 being absolutely great, what would you rate today's experience
It's
at?
5+.
Would you recommend Milty's Boys Septic to any friends and family? And if so, why?
Absolutely. You were here, you were on time. You didn't tear up my yard, took care of me, took care of my family and everything. So I have no problem with it. No problem recommending it to anybody.
Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
This is Rosemary Murphy, and they came out because we were having trouble with our septic system, and they came out. I called this morning and they were out here this afternoon.
From 1 to 5, 1 being terrible and 5 being absolutely great, what would you rate your experience over the years with Milty's?
A 5.
Would you recommend Milty's to any friends and family, and if so, why?
I would recommend them because they come and they do a good job, and they're very polite and answer all the questions if you have any about the system.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you tonight?
They came and cleared out my septic tank, got all the dirt and roots and all that, and it was amazing.
From 1 to 5, how would you rate today's service?
Oh, absolutely a 5.
Would you recommend Milty's to any friends and family, and if so, why?
Well, definitely, because they had a full schedule and they were able to work me in because I had an emergency earlier today, and I'm just so grateful that they were able to take care of me.
Thank you. What's your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
Mike Gould and Pump a septic tank.
How did you hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
Online.
From 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being absolutely great, what would you rate your experience today?
Put it a 5.
Would you recommend Milty's Boys Septic to any friends and family, and if so, why?
Oh yeah, because the process was easy from start to finish.
Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name's Robert Green. Bob, if you're my friend, Robert, if you want my money. But the boys came out and they cleaned out our septic tank and they did a fabulous job. Great spirit, great attitude, and knew what they were doing professionally. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
David Thomas had them pump out septic tank.
How did you hear about Milty's Boys?
On Yelp. You guys rated #1, and so that's who I called.
From 1 to 5, 1 being terrible and 5 being absolutely great, what would you rate your experience with Milty's Boys today?
Definitely 5.
Would you recommend Milty's Boys Septic to any of your friends or neighbors? And if so, why?
Yes, yeah, I recommend. Just great service, good clean up, clean out, clean up after.
Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name is Jane, and I had Milty's Boys come and
pump my septic tank.
How did you hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
Google.
From 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being great, what would you rate today's experience at?
I would say 5.
And would you recommend us to any friends and family? And if so, why?
I would, because you guys are friendly and explain to me how the system works.
Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
Frank Chapman, had them come clean out my septic tank.
How did you hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
Found them on the internet.
From 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being absolutely great, what would you rate today's experience at?
A 5.
And would you recommend Milty's Boys Septic to any friends and family? And if so, why?
Everybody. Get somebody on a day like this.
Thank you.
It's great.
All right. What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
This is Chris Miller. We had them come out and pump our septic tank.
How did you hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
On Google.
From 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being absolutely great, what would you rate today's experience at?
We're gonna put it at a 5 today.
Would you recommend Milty's Boys Septic to any of your friends and family? And if so, why?
I definitely recommend them because they're real respectful, real knowledgeable company, and they got the job done.
Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name is Kat Myros, and they pumped the tank and cleaned out the baffle.
From 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being great, what would you rate today's experience at?
5.
Would you recommend Milty's Boys Septic to any friends and family? And if so, why?
Yes, because they're nice, they're courteous, and they got the job done.
Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name is Jay Cummings, and these guys came out and took care of some septic pumping for us, and actually managed to help us find our septic area because I wasn't very good at keeping track of it the first time around. So they took care of that for us. They were very, very, more than polite. Did a great job, gave us the things that we needed, and we were really happy about it.
Thank you.
You betcha. Thank you.
What is your name and how did you hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
Yes, my name is Caleb and I heard about Milty's through my job. We actually help them with marketing and stuff.
What's your experience been with Milty's Boys Septic?
Nothing but positive. They are very easy to work with, very easy to take photos of because they're always smiling, and great people. And I've gotten to edit some of these video testimonials, and I can see from having edited those that there are a lot of people who are very happy with Milty's Boys.
From 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being great. If you ever own a septic, how likely are you to use Milty's Boys?
Oh my gosh. I would make up problems with my septic system to bring them out. So I give them a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100.
Thank you.
Okay. What is your name and what do we do for you today?
My name's Megan, and you came out and looked at our new aerobic tank.
Okay. How did you hear about Milty's Boys?
I actually looked you guys up, but as far as other competitors, you guys had the only 24-hour service. So I gave you guys a call, and it was informative, and I had to follow up on the septic tank.
If you had to rate our service today, 1 being horrible, 5 being great, how would you rate us?
5 stars.
Thank you.
You did an amazing job. You were punctual. I was not. So you were very patient. Forgot to look the gauge, but you did an amazing job informing me about the system. I've never had one, on what needed to be done and then why it needed to be done.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, would you recommend us to friends or family, and if so, why?
Yes, I would, because I know most of my family does not call during business hours, and my job is not conducive to business hours. So the fact that you guys are 24 hours really allows a lot of flexibility, and in case there is an emergency, you guys are able to do this.
Thank you very much.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name is Brenda Doak. My septic tank was full, I guess, so I had to have it pumped.
How did you hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
I pulled it up on the internet, You had the best reviews. That was why I chose you.
Did we live up to our 5-star reputation?
Yes, I like you guys. You guys did a great job. You showed me the problems. I'm satisfied.
Thank you.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys Septic do for you today?
My name's Andrew Bloomer, and Milty's Boys Septic, actually, they came out and pumped our septic system here at our business.
How did you hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
I heard about Milty's Boys. We've known them for a while. We do business with them, and they're great people.
On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, how would you rate your service today?
It was a 5. It was phenomenal. We absolutely loved it. It was quick, simple, easy, wasn't confusing at all, and they really helped us out. So it was great.
Would you refer Milty's Boys Septic to friends, family, or other businesses, and if so, why?
Absolutely, yeah. So we would refer them. Anyone who asks who to pump their septic tank, we would absolutely refer Milty's Boys. Again, very simple, very straightforward. They were able to keep payment on file. It was very convenient. I didn't have to keep giving them, a card or a check or cash or anything like that. It was very convenient, very simple. They were great on the phone. They just did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name is Rena, and I had them come out and reseal the box on my septic tank because water was getting into it.
How did you first hear about Milty's Boys?
I Googled it and found them online.
From 1 to 5, 1 being absolutely terrible, 5 being absolutely great, what would you rate your service experience with Milty's Boys?
5.
Awesome. And would you recommend us to any friends and family? And if so, why?
Yes, they came out in a timely manner, and the technician knew what he was doing, and the service was fast.
Thank you.
Welcome.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys Septic do for you today?
My name is Ward Duckett. I had Milt and them come out and check to install a pump for me in my aerobic system, and they put a new pump in it, but we suspect the controller is going bad, so we'll have to put a controller in there too.
How did you hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
Oh man, I've been using Milty for 22 years. So,
On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, how would you rate your service today?
very good, 5. Okay.
Would you refer Milty's Boys Septic to family and or friends? And if so, why?
Well, they are very dependable, and I don't have no problem. All I do is call them. They will come out here, and yeah, I'll recommend them to my friends if they got a aerobic system. Recommend Milty for them.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name is Diana Metters, and I had them come out to check out the lateral lines of my septic tank.
How did you hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
Referral from a plumber friend.
From 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being absolutely great, what would you rate your experience with Milty's Boys Septic?
That's easy. My experience was a 5. Just honesty and professionalism for sure.
Would you recommend us to any friends and family? And if so, why?
Well, I don't know. They have to come to me first. I have to be first in line, but after that, then yes, I would recommend them to everybody else.
Thank you. What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name is Robin Robinson, and I'm the camp director at Camp Victory out in Manford, Oklahoma, and they came out to assess our septic situation, which has given us problems in the past. They were out, fixed an issue this summer, but came back really to just give us input and help on getting a directive and a plan in place to be sure that we're not only doing something that's a repair but preventive maintenance, and it's been a great experience just working with them and hearing their professional advice on what we need to do.
From 1 to 5, what would you rate your experience today?
5.5.
Thank you. And would you recommend us to any friends and family, and if so, why?
I think just because of a quick response, professionalism, and definitely knows their business and what's going on, but I think also willing to go the extra mile to do whatever it takes, to lean in, to go down, to do whatever it takes to see what the problem is and get it fixed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
My name is AJ, and I had him pump a sewer or a septic tank.
How did you first hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
Google review.
And from 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being absolutely great, what would you rate your experience today?
5 stars. Beautiful job.
Would you recommend Milty's Boys Septic to any friends and family? And if so, why?
Yes, sir, because they were professional, punctual, and on time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
What is your name and what did you have Milty's Boys do for you today?
I'm Charlie, and Milty's Boys came out and diagnosed an issue going on with my lateral lines.
And how did you hear about Milty's Boys Septic?
Facebook.
And from 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being absolutely great, what would you rate your experience today?
Definitely a 5.
Would you recommend Milty's Boys Septic to any friends and family? And if so, why?
Absolutely, because they were fast, they got out here quickly, they figured out the problem quickly, and they gave an honest answer.
Thank you.